Example 3 says we need to factor x squared minus 8x plus 15. Now, in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and label our a, b, and c. So our a in this one is 1. Our b is negative 8. And our c is positive 15. Now, once we get that, we can go ahead and draw our big X. And we can go ahead and multiply our a times c. So a times c, which will be 1 times 15, which is 15. So that goes to the top of my x. At the bottom of my x will be my b term, which is a negative 8. Now that I have that, I can go ahead and find everything that I can get that will multiply to be 15. So that's going to be 1 times 15 and 3 times 5. Okay, now we need to see which one of those factors can add to be negative 8 or subtract to be negative 8. So set up my two columns. I got a plus column, minus. So if I add 15 and 1, that gives me 16. If I subtract them, that gives me 14. If I do 3 and 5 and I add them, that gives me 8. And if I add them, it gives me 8. If I subtract them, that gives me 2. Okay? Now, the only one that gave me 8 was 3 and 5. So I'm going to put my 3 and my 5 here on the sides of my x. Now, I have to remember that I need a positive 15, but it also has to add or subtract to give me a negative 8. So now this part here is a little tricky because you got to make sure your signs are right. So in this case, because the top number is positive and the bottom number is negative, my two factors will be negative. Because if I multiply negative 3 times negative 5, that's positive 15. But if I add negative 3 and negative 5, that's negative 8. Okay? Then I'm going to put my a term at the bottom, simplify if I can, but because it's 1 at the bottom, that means it's already in the simplest form it was going to be. Now we do bottoms up, meaning the bottom term goes in front of the x, and the top term of the fraction will go behind the x. And then for the other side, we got the bottom term is in front of the x, and behind the x will be the top term. So for example 3, we're looking at it being x minus 3 and x minus 5. Okay,